Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same cycle, wanting to change but not really knowing where to start? I have recently changed most of my habits, and through that, it feels like I've become this brand new version of myself, and it has been life changing to see that unfold. It has been so good to work on myself and really put effort into being happy and healthy. We often think that becoming a new version of ourselves means doing this huge, overwhelming change from one day to the next. But in reality, last longing change happens in our daily routines, in our daily habits, in the daily actions that we take. Whatever your goals may be, whether you're trying to wake up a little bit earlier or build a little bit more self confidence, it's not about forcing yourself to change. It's about gently shifting your habits every day to align more and more to the person that you want to become. Which actually brings me into my first point, which is who do you want to be? As a first step, I encourage you to brainstorm two things. Firstly, what type of person do you want to become? And the second thing, why? Why are you trying to change the habits that you're trying to change? What is the reasoning? As an example, I've recently lost 15 kilos. So when I first started my journey, the habits that I wanted to change was to exercise more and eat healthier. And the reason why I wanted to change those habits was to become the best version of myself. During that first brainstorming phase, I sat down and really evaluated who I wanted to be. What does that Matilda do? My name is Matilda if you've never seen me before. What does that Matilda do? Who is that Matilda? What does her life look like? What does she enjoy doing? How does she feel? We don't change by forcing ourselves to be different. We change by embodying that person that we want to become. Once you have that vision of who you want to become, for example, for me, I knew that Matilda loved to drink water. She felt really good in her skin. She was happy and motivated. She had discipline. She loved going to the gym. She loved cooking. Once you have that vision, you will be inclined to jump into your journey cold turkey. So you may sit down the night before or the day before and think, okay, from tomorrow, from 5 a.m., I'll wake up and I will drink 3 liters of water. I will exercise, I'll go to the gym and also go for a run, and I will meditate for 2 hours. And you want to do all of those things all at once from day one. But that is not sustainable. Most of the time, that is not going to work long term. And this is something that I really struggled with because in the past, when I've tried to lose weight or be more disciplined or change any other habits that I was trying to change, I was doing exactly that. I was jumping into a complete life change. I was trying to change every single aspect of my life all at once from day one. And then, obviously on day one, you're very motivated. You have that drive and determination. But by the seventh day, by the start of the second week, you start to fall off. So it's not sustainable long term for most people in most cases. Instead, remember that small changes lead to big results. We often think that transformations have to be extreme, but the most powerful changes happen in tiny, consistent steps. As an example, if one of your goals is to drink more water, instead of trying to drink 3 liters of water from day one, from previously never ever drinking water, so that's a massive jump, right? From 0 water to 3 liters of water, instead try and set a goal of small increments. For example, try and drink 1 bottle of water for the first week. On your first day, wake up and set the goal to finish 1 bottle of water, 500 ml, 1 liter, whatever works for you, depending on your previous habits. And then slowly increase to get to 3 liters. So if you're finding it really easy to drink that 1 bottle of water, on your second day, set yourself the challenge to drink 2. If you're finding it hard, keep going with that 1 bottle of water until you feel comfortable and you really get used to it, and then increase it to 2 and then increase it to 3. Same thing if you're trying to wake up earlier. Say you have a goal to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, but up until now, for 20 years of your life, you've been waking up at 9 or even later. That is a massive jump. So instead of trying to wake up from day one at 5 a.m., set smaller increments. Try and wake up 30 minutes earlier each day or each week until you get used to it, and then wake up a little bit earlier, and then earlier and earlier and earlier until you get to wake up at 5 a.m. And it actually becomes natural and it feels easy and you can maintain it for a long time. You've changed that habit successfully. You know, when we were talking about celebrating the small wins in the video about finding happiness, this is what I mean. Don't just celebrate the big milestones, for example, waking up at 5 a.m. Celebrate the little wins along the way as well, of waking up 30 minutes earlier, waking up an hour earlier. Those are wins. Trust me, I know you want the results and I know you want them now. My goal is actually to lose 20 kilos, so I still have 5 to go. And I am very, very eager. I promise you, I'm very eager to get to that finish line so I know how it feels. So we have to ensure that we change our habits so that we never go back to our old ways. We have to ensure that we step into this new way of being so that we never ever look back. Let's now talk about the habit loop, rewiring your brain for success. Habits are not just about discipline. They are neurological pathways in our brains. The habit loop can be divided into 3 parts: cue, routine, and reward. The cue is what triggers the habit. The routine is the action you take. And the reward is the feeling that you get. To successfully change a habit, we don't just remove the bad habits, we have to replace it with a better habit instead. I'll put an example on the screen and talk you through it really quickly. For example, for the goal that I had with eating healthy, my old habit loop was unhealthy eating. The cue was feeling tired, stressed, or bored. The routine was grabbing junk food, ordering takeout, or emotional eating. And the reward was the instant comfort, distraction, or the pleasure. So I had to grab this old habit loop of unhealthy eating and transform it into the new habit loop, which was eating healthy. The cue was the exact same, so feeling tired, stressed, or bored. We don't remove the cue, we simply change the response that we have to that cue. So the new routine was preparing a nourishing, easy meal or drinking a herbal tea. This depended on the cue. So if the cue was just boredom eating, then a tea would be so satisfactory for me. But even cooking a nourishing meal, I had to plan ahead, right? So I always have ingredients in my fridge for really nice, easy meals that I can prepare when I am presented with that cue. So that was that new action that was replaced. And the new reward was still getting that comfort, but now feeling energized, proud, and satisfied rather than sluggish. I hope this does make sense. If you do have any questions, drop them in the comments down below and we can work through your habit loop if you're needing any assistance with that. But this works. Like, take me as an example. I used to be a very unmotivated person when it came to physical exercise. I was very lazy. I never worked out. I would actually complain if we were parked too far away from the entrance of the shopping center. That's how much I hated walking. I didn't want to walk anywhere. I didn't want to exercise. I would roll my eyes every time someone asked me, do you want to come to the gym with me? I'd be like, oh, do I have to? Now I am a completely different person. And when I say completely, I mean completely. I am a new version of myself. I crave exercise. I crave healthy eating. These habits that I have implemented in my life are no longer something that I force myself to get used to and I force myself to enjoy, but they are something that have become a part of who I am. I love my habits now, and that's why they stuck through, because I took my time to implement them and I used the habit loop to change the response to the cue, and it worked. And take me again, please take me as an example. If I did it, you can do it too. I am like the most not special person at all, and I came from such the opposite of what I am now, like genuinely completely opposite. If I did it, you can do it too. I promise. I promise, I promise, I promise. If I did it, you can do it too. I also wanted to briefly touch on the gentle art of self-discipline. Discipline isn't about being harsh with yourself. It's about being really, really committed to your future self, being really committed to that person that we talked about at the start of the video, the who you want to become. that person that you are working towards becoming. Instead of motivation, which fades over time, sometimes quite quickly, rely on routines and systems that help you grow and that help you achieve your goals. For example, set a system or routine in place that helps you to achieve your goal more easily. What comes to mind is me with working out. When I first started to work out every single day, I used to leave my workout clothes prepped and ready. Like I had the whole lot, my leggings, my top, my underwear, and my socks, even all prepared on my bed or just on the floor next to my bed, so that in the morning or when I came back from work, when I came home from work, it was already ready for me to not even think about it and put it on. If I was working from home, I would actually put on my activewear for the whole day so that as soon as I logged off work, I could go to the gym. So use those things to help you. Another example that comes to mind really briefly is if you have a goal to read more, grab a book that you would like to read and leave it on your bedside table. Leave it on the couch. Leave it in places that you would generally see it a lot throughout the day so that it helps you to pick it up and read it. And you don't have to think about it as much. You've already eliminated that first step. For me, it was the first step of opening my closet and thinking, oh, I really don't want to do this, but let me grab my workout clothes. Like, no, eliminated. Clothes already ready, just put them on. Something that really helped me was instead of having my end goal in mind, which for me would be to lose 20 kilos, I had my future self in mind, which was someone that loved her body, loved to nourish her body, loved to take care of herself and exercise because it was good for her, which is who I've become now. If you do this, you are able to keep going in achieving your goals, even when your goal is taking longer than expected, because you are doing this for you. Always reminding yourself of the person you want to become and the reason why you want to change the habits that you want to change will keep you consistent. Which brings me to my next point, overcoming resistance and staying consistent. The goal is progress, not perfection. The goal is to become that new version of yourself, not to do things perfectly 100% of the time, because that is not sustainable. Failure is part of the progress. There has been days along my journey where I have fallen back a little bit. Maybe I didn't exercise that day, or I ate a little bit more than my calorie intake for the day. So what? I'm on this journey. I'm trying the best that I can, and I'm constantly improving, but you know, we are bound to have days where we're not perfect, and that's okay. Again, so what? If you happen to fall back into an old habit, because this will happen at the start, right? When you're first trying to change that habit, sometimes it's very stubborn. Sometimes you'll fall back into the old habit multiple times. That's okay. If you do happen to fall back into an old habit, don't punish yourself. Just gently grab yourself and bring yourself back to your path, into the new habit. Sometimes you'll take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, and that is totally okay. That is the reason why this is sustainable, right? Because you allow yourself to make mistakes. You allow yourself to have that day where you fail, and you don't punish yourself for it. You don't say, well, I've done a bad day, so let me just give up on all of my dreams and goals and trying to change my habits. It's all ruined. No. Gently bring yourself back and keep going. And again, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but celebrate the little wins because you've come a long way already. And even just deciding that you want to change your habit is a massive, massive win. So good job and keep going. And again, I've said it about a million times, but if I can do it, so can you, I promise. Changing your habits doesn't have to be overwhelming. It starts with one small shift. So, right now, choose a habit that you want to change. Go back to our first point, which was to brainstorm the person that you want to be, and brainstorm what will that habit achieve for you? What is that person that you want to become by implementing that habit? And why? Your future self is built by the actions that you take today. So you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent. I hope you found this video helpful. It truly makes me so happy to see you guys happy, and when you share stories in the comments or in via DM or email of your successes, it fills my heart up with joy. So I feel like I always say this, but I cannot wait to see you succeed. Thank you again for being here. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to join me here on the Womanly Corner for more warm and intentional content. I'll see you guys next time.